Hey there. If you pay independent contractors, January has a way of sneaking up on you. Who did I actually pay? Did I pay them enough to owe them a form? And do I even have their tax ID on file? This is the year-end 1099 NEC and W-9 contractor payment tracker, and it answers all three questions for you in one file. Let me walk you through it. This is the dashboard, and it's the one screen that tells you where you stand. Total paid out, how much of that is actually reportable once the exclusions are stripped out, how many contractors have crossed the threshold and the number that matters most in January, how many of those people you still don't have a W-9 for. Green means you're good, red means something needs your attention before you file. Everything else in the workbook feeds this page. The Start Here tab lays out the whole thing in plain English. What the file does, the 6 steps to set it up, and the 4 rules that keep the numbers honest. The big one to remember: a payment you made by card, PayPal, Venmo Business, or Stripe is not yours to report because the processor already reports it. Read this tab once and the rest of the file makes sense. Next is Settings, and this is the only place with numbers you type once and forget. Your business name, the tax year, the reporting threshold that applies to your filing year, the backup withholding rate, and your 5 filing deadlines. Nothing in this workbook is hard-coded. If the IRS changes a threshold or a date, you change one cell here, and the entire file updates itself. The contractor roster is where you list everyone you paid: name, business name, entity type, and the 2 columns that matter most in January. Do you hold their W-9? And do you have their tax ID? Mark those honestly, because the file is going to chase you about the gaps. And that's exactly the point. The payment ledger is where you log payments as they happen: date, contractor, category, method, amount. You fill in the colored columns, and the ledger works out for itself whether each payment is reportable and which box it belongs in. Card and third-party network payments get excluded automatically, so you never have to remember the rule in the moment. The 1099 Determination tab is the brain of the file. 1 row per contractor: what you paid them, what's reportable after exclusions, whether they crossed the threshold, which form they need, and, flagged in red, anyone who went over the line while you still have no W-9 on file. This is the tab that turns a shoebox of payments into a clear filing list. The W-9 chase list is your to-do list for the gaps. Everyone who needs a form but hasn't given you a W-9. You log the date you asked, the file tells you when the follow-up is due, and it shows you the backup withholding you're exposed to if that tax ID never shows up. Work this list until it's empty. Box mapping is the tab you'll open in January when it's time to actually file. It gives you the per box totals to transcribe onto the forms. No adding things up by hand, no wondering which payments belong in which box. It's already done for you. The filing checklist counts you down to every deadline. Each filing date sits in an editable cell pulled from Settings, so the checklist always matches the current year's calendar and tells you what's due and when. Year-end Closeout is the tab that catches the loose ends before you file. The reconciliations and the last-minute checks that stop you from sending a form with a number that doesn't tie out. The Worker Classification tab is a quick gut check on the question the IRS cares about most. Is this person genuinely a contractor, or should they really be an employee? Getting that wrong is expensive, so it's worth a look before you file. And finally, Multi-Year Archive keeps your prior years in one place. So when a contractor asks for a copy or you need to compare year over year, it's all right there, and that's the whole workbook. It comes loaded with a full set of sample data so you can see every tab working before you clear it out and drop in your own numbers, and it runs in both Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. If you're ready to make 1099 season painless, the link to grab it is in the description. Thanks so much for watching.